Hello friends, thank you and welcome to this video. So in this video, we will set up Guacamole in AWS primarily to connect to SSH and RDP servers over browser. So that's moreover changing the protocol for RDP and SSH to web. Very powerful tool which addresses a number of very important use cases. So to get started without much ado, first thing that we need to do is we need to host some DNS records here for our Guacamole server. So what I'll do is I've already created a record for guc.securityfocal.com and www.guc.securityfocal.com that is pointing to the IP address of my server. That's a public IP address that my Guacamole server is currently pointing towards. And then I've just connected to this server using the PuTTY. So Um, first thing that we need to do is we need to install Docker and Docker container on this one. So I have already installed it. If you're not sure how to do that, you can refer to this KB articles from Docker. I will leave a link to these articles in the video description. So first we'll validate if the Docker and Docker Compose are installed. So I'll just say Docker version. And yeah, Docker is installed, and then we'll see if Docker Compose is installed. So Docker, I have installed it as a plugin. So Docker Compose version, and yeah, my Docker Compose version is visible here. So next, let's just check our current directory. So I'm in the Ubuntu home directory. Let's create a new directory for Guacamole setup. So I'll name it as Guacamole-setup. Okay, let's move to Guacamole-setup, and that's where I'll create my Docker Compose file. So I'll do a while docker-compose.yml, and I'll press I for insert. And I have actually put these details in my GitHub account. So I'll leave a link to this GitHub account in the description. So you can just visit the account and you can copy this Docker Compose file from there. So let me just copy it and paste it. Okay. So I'll just give you a quick overview of what we are doing here. So yes. So here you can see that we are using one for Gucti, one Docker container. And this is basically the backend service that manages the RDP and SSH connections. Second, we are deploying Guacamole web application. So web application is the one that gives us the front end and the manageability, like which user should be getting access to which RDP or SSH services. And then we are using MariaDB as the database for Guacamole. And then we are using NGINX Proxy Manager. So that's a GUI-based tool, very powerful, and it basically saves us any hassle of interacting with command line and managing the Let's Encrypt and Chatbot manually. So this will help us to do this automatically. And then you can see another container that is for the database for NGINX Proxy Manager, and we are using MariaDB for this one. So let me just save it. Next, we'll initialize the database for Guacamole. So before that, let's bring our Docker up. So I'll say Docker compose up, and it's pulling all the image files. Let's just move to the next part. So we will, yeah. So before we initialize the database or import the database schema, that's the exact step. We also need to make sure that we have the MySQL client installed in the Guacamole DB container. So let this Docker containers come up, and then we'll move to our next step. Okay, created. Let's wait for this one to get completed. Okay, let me just duplicate this session. Docker PS, and you can see our containers are up. Okay. Yes, so we should be able to connect our NGINX proxy manager. And to do that, we just need to use the public IP address. Or actually, we have created a record, so we'll just use this one. Guc securityfocal.com, and this is on 81 port. So let's just say 81, and NGINX proxy manager is opening, which means our setup is working as expected. But before we do anything else, let's make changes for the database import that is required for Guacamole. So to do that, we'll just use these two commands, and before that we need to install the MySQL client in Guacamole DB container. So to do that, I'll just copy this command and paste it here. Docker exec it Guacamole DB bash. So I'm inside the Docker container, and then I'll just do a quick update. apt get update. Okay. And next we'll install the MySQL client here. Okay, so our client is successfully deployed. We'll exit the container, and then we need to import the database schema. So to do that, use these commands. Yeah, and this is to initialize. Okay, yeah. So you can see this warning: using a password on the command line interface can be insecure, but that's okay. We can safely ignore it for now. Okay, so now let us log in into our NGINX proxy manager. So the username for this one is admin@example.com, and default password is change me. So let's use this one, never. And here, let me change it to my email ID, that is kumar@securityfocal.com, and I'll save it here. Okay, it'll ask me to change the password. So my current password is change me. My new password is, let me just put some password here. Okay, save. That's great. So let's go to dashboard, and we don't see any proxy host. We'll add a proxy host for our Guacamole server. So let's say add proxy host, and the domain I'll say guc.com. securityfocal.com. So that's the e-record that we have hosted for this one. And forward hostname or IP address. So I'll just check my Guacamole instance IP address. So let's just copy this one. Okay. HTTP forward port is 8080. You have to enable WebSocket support here, so make sure to enable this one. And then we'll go to SSL. SSL certificate will say request a new SSL certificate, and then also select force SSL. And you have to agree to let's encrypt terms of service. So once we'll click on save, in the backend it will create a certificate using let's encrypt and chatbot. So that's it. Let's just click on save here. And in the backend, it's creating a certificate for us so that we do not do everything from the command line, which is a very, very nice and powerful feature here. Okay, so our certificate should be all set and we should be able to log in into our Guacamole server now. Let me just open a new tab and let's say guc.securityfocal.com. And I'll say HTTPS:// and then for Guacamole you have to add Guacamole in the end, so /Guacamole. And yeah, you can see our Guacamole is all set. And if I go to certificate, I should be able to see the let's encrypt certificate here, which is just super awesome. So you can set this up within minutes. And now let me just log into this one. Sorry, my username and password are gucadmin and gucadmin. So that's the default username and passwords. And login. Okay. So we are inside our gucadmin, which is super awesome. So here we'll create a new user first. I'll say a new user, and the username, let me say Kumar. Password, let me give it a password. Okay, full name, I'll say Kumar, yes. Email address, kumar@securityfocal.com. Other things I'll just skip for now, and I'll just click on save. And let's add a new connection here. So I have a Windows server here in AWS that I'll connect from this one. So I can see Coinsprinter server here. And this has this private IP address 172.168.222. So if you are also testing with AWS, make sure that your server is connected first, right? So if I do a telnet to this one on 3389 port, it should be successful. So you can see I'm able to connect on 3389, which means I should be good to set this up. So I'll say new connection, and name I'll say Coinsprinter AD server, root VNC. Okay. So a lot of parameters are there which may look overwhelming. So probably if I need to cover these points, I will require a separate video. But for now, we'll just do the key things. So scroll till parameters, and here in the host name range, just enter what we have copied. Port will be 3389. One important thing. So this protocol we have to change from VNC to RDP. So the RDP is the one that we will be using here. And then our parameters are all good. Username, password, and domain we'll leave blank for now, and this encryption rate we'll say any. So Guacamole can automatically negotiate the encryption, and you also need to select ignore server certificate. So now we'll go ahead and save this, and I'll come back to user. and then Kumar, and I'll allow Kumar access to this CoinSprinter AD server, and I'll say save. Okay, that's it. We should be good. So we'll test the connectivity now by opening a new incognito window. So I'll say qt.securityfocal.com/Guacamole. Guys, I would request you to like and support our channel. So please like this video and also subscribe to our channel, and I'll keep on bringing these interesting, useful videos for you guys. So username will be Kumar. Password will be the one that you have provided there in the configuration. Yeah, so it's asking of us the credentials to connect the server. So here I'll put the credentials of Kumar AS and our password that is for the Windows server and domain. So my domain is CoinSprinter. I'll say continue, and yeah, so I am inside my server. So that's super cool and very easy to set up, provided you know the right step. So guys, once again, before you leave this video, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much, and have a nice day ahead.